And welcome to the day 3 of the Realtors Visibility Bootcamp. This is the day 3, and I'm very excited to be here today. Today, we're going to be looking at how to identify real buyers versus time wasters. How do you differentiate real buyers and time wasters? So, we are literally now going to start turning that visibility into sales. Now you have become visible. Now people have begun to identify you. Remember, in day 1, we talked about why you're easy to ignore. Day 2, we talked about how to become visible. And then today, we're now going to be looking at how to convert that visibility into sales. How do you convert the visibility into real sales? That's basically what we're going to be discussing today. Are you excited? Are you excited? Who wants to know how to identify time wasters and how to separate time wasters from real buyers? You're tired of chasing buyers that are really may not even buy at all. What if there is a way that you can know them from the onset? Who is ready? Type I am ready in the comment section. Let us go. Mr. Safe Property says I am ready. Said ready. You know how we do it. Once you jump on live here, type hashtag live in the comment section and your first name and where you are joining from. I'd like to know that you are watching this. If you're watching the replay, type replay, hashtag replay, your first name and where you are joining from, as well as we dive right in. If you missed day 1 and day 2, the link is in the description of this video. You can go later, go and click on it, watch it, and enjoy. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Mr. Safe Properties. Welcome. Priscilla, welcome. Jacinta Ukwa, welcome. Mr. Owen from Asaba, it's good to have you here. Now, let's dive right in. So let me start by asking you a question. I'll ask you a question. How many of you, like, which of you is talking to a serious client right now? Like, there's somebody in your inbox or a couple of people in your inbox, right, that you've been chatting with for weeks, maybe even months, maybe even up to a month or months, right? You've sent them details. They've asked you for content, flyers, videos. You've gone for inspection with them. They've asked you all the questions. They've answered all. Tried to answer all their questions, right? I mean, when I say questions, they've asked you, their wife or spouse have asked you, their brother as well has asked you, right? You've followed up multiple times. As a matter of fact, maybe that serious client has even filled the form. He has even collected account number. But this has gone on for some time. He's in your inbox. He keeps telling you that, don't worry, I'm working on it, right? But he has still not bought yet. He has not paid yet. Who here has this experience? Say I in the comment section. Just put I in the comment section if you have this experience. And by the way, if you can hear me clearly, I'd like to know. Just type 1 in the comment section. If you can see me clearly, type 2. Okay, great. I think my sound is good. Welcome, everybody. I see you all. Mr. Kunle said, I'm ready. Awesome. Chuka from Lagos. Good to have you here, sir. Live from Lagos. It's good to have you. Good to have you. Beautiful. So, that serious client is still in your inbox. Maybe there are a couple of them, and they just keep telling you that they will buy, right? You've followed up, they've answered all their questions, etc. Now, let me ask you the real question. How do you know that the client is actually serious? Let me know in the comments. How do you really know that the client is serious, right? And the truth is, most times you don't know, right? You don't know. Let me even give you my own experience. I have many, but let me give you one of my experiences. So last year, April, I think last year, April, or no, last 2 years. Yes, last year, April, right? A client reached out to me, prospect reached out to me about a property. And he, we've done everything. So he reached out, he sent his brother. I think 2 weeks later, he said he's coming back himself. He wasn't around. So he said he's coming back himself. And then, long story short, the man came back. I went for inspection with his brother. Oh, remember, I went for inspection with his brother. I sent them flyers, videos, information, everything. I took him himself for inspection, when he came after like 2 weeks. Videos, of course, I resent new videos to him, etc. That same day, filled the form. He filled the form and told me that it was close to a weekend, and he said that the next week I will hear from him. So right, so Tuesday the next week, I reached out and he says, "Oh Jeff, by Thursday or Friday he was going to make a deposit." So he asked me for the payment plan, and he said he was going to make a deposit. Um, um, the weekend again reached, and I reached out to him again, sir. Um, I'm calling to know which of the plot numbers I should lock down for you, being that you're going to make a deposit today. And he says, "Oh, Jeff, I'm on my way to the bank." And after a little time, like I think towards the end of the day, I reached out again to say, "Oh, I'm still at the office. I'm waiting to lock down his unit," because I personally, when I follow up, I don't ask, "Are you paying?" No, rather than ask you, "Are you paying?" I rather say, "Which of these units am I locking down for you?" Or which of these plot, how many plots are we, marking out for you? So I don't ask, "Are you paying?" Right? And when I reached out again, he says, "Oh, he's in the bank." Ladies and gentlemen, brethren and brethren, I'm still waiting for him. The interesting thing is that this guy still views my status. Like, I mean, as at December last year, okay, lately I've not really seen him view my status, but as at December last year, this is April. And personally, that's how I follow up. I don't follow up, back to back to back to back. I have also learned, and I have quite a number of leads, right? Which is why one of the first things and most important things you must learn to do is to generate enough leads consistently and constantly, right? So that was how, of course, I let him be, and I kept doing my follow-ups subtly and putting up, videos on my status. And this man, I mean, I don't know if he's trapped in the bank till now. Like, why can't you just tell me that, "Oh, you're not ready to buy," or, "Oh, I don't have the money to buy," or, "Oh, I want to buy from somewhere else"? Why would you tell me you're in the bank? Right. And shortly after, I think the next day or so, I was calling to check how he is and to be sure he's okay. And the man did not answer me at all up till now. Another example I have, which I would say briefly too, is a prospect reached out to me. He says he wants to see a property. And, oh, we fixed a time. He moved the time twice. So by the second time, by the third time, he said, "Oh, Jeff, he's ready now." And I said, "Okay, I'll meet you at the property at the time is at Gadua in Abuja, if you know Abuja quite well." So I told him I'll meet him at Prince Ebano um, supermarket there at local Goma area, which is closer to where we are going to. And I drove all the way. I told him that, "Oh, I'm now heading there." He said, "Oh, he's heading there to himself." And I drove all the way to the place. 5 minutes later, I called him. "Oh, I'm here." He says, "Yes, he's on his way. I'll see him soon." 20 minutes later, no, he said, "I'll see him in 20 minutes." So 30 minutes later, I called him again and he says, "Oh, he's around the gate. That I'll see him right now." So I turned on my car, right, and was about to drive out so that I can pick him up at the gate and go there. And I drove out. I didn't see anybody by the gate. I drove out a bit and I called him again. And he says, that I will see him very soon. And that was it. He stopped picking my calls. And in my head, okay, I don't understand. The guy stopped picking my call. I was there for another 30, 40 minutes and I drove away. And driving back to the office, I kept thinking to myself, why are people like this? Like, why won't you just tell me that, oh, I'm not interested or I don't want it again? Something like that. What will happen? Like, will I kill you? Will I see you like you're incompetent? Like, what is the matter? Right? How many of you have had this type of experience before? Let me know in the comment section if you've had an experience like this before. You know, the base of our conversation today is how do you identify real buyers from time wasters, right? How do you identify that, right? So we're going to just break down a few things. First, why serious buyers or serious clients, the people you tag as serious clients, why they never end up buying. We're going to talk around that today. We're also going to talk around how to identify who is actually ready to buy, right? Then we'll talk about a few other things around this and some exact questions that you should ask prospects before you can categorize them, right? Because somewhere at the back of our mind, we have to also know that the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule, still comes to play, right? It comes to play. And the truth is, 20% of your prospects are going to give you over 80% of your income, right? Inside the goal for you, what I intend to train you on this night, right, is to identify your 20% from your conversations. All right. When they reach out to you, how do you identify these people? Okay. Because just because someone says he's interested in a property of yours does not mean that they are ready to buy. All right. You know, and just because you know or you think that somebody has money to buy or somebody tells you that he or she wants to buy does not mean they really will buy or can buy. All right? Are we following? Are we flowing? Is this an interesting conversation? Let me see your the fire emoji in the comments if you think this is an interesting conversation, to have. Mr. Owen says that there's a particular man who is always interested anytime he sees my post. Yet he has no but I don't even take him seriously anymore. Exactly. Exactly. Right. So how do you identify this? How do you know which is which? Because one of the hardest truths to accept in real estate is that just because your phone is quiet, every message now feels like an opportunity. You know how somebody just says hi to you, I'm interested in XYZ thing that you are posting. And there's this hope that builds in you. As a matter of fact, a couple of people, especially pe- people that are just starting out in real estate and have not understood the act of leads generation or how to become visible, right? They begin to they in fact in their head they have spent the commission even before it came in. Right? And of course, you begin to chase the prospect. You explain tire, you explain everything. Next thing, you're sending brochures, you're sending plenty brochures, you're sending flyers, you're sending 4 minutes voice note. Then you follow up every day, you follow up back to back, and then the person silence you, ghosts you, disappears. Right? Next thing you're now wondering that what did I do wrong? Right? What did you'll be wondering if you're the one that messed it up, right? And at the back of your head, and I get this kind of question a lot. Jeff, I've been talking to this guy for 4 weeks now, and he's a serious buyer. I know, I can feel it in my heart of heart. right, in the bottom of my heart that he's a serious buyer. And the truth is, there are things to know in your conversations, and this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. But before we go on, let us take a step back, right, and look at what we have done so far. Day one, you learned that most realtors do not struggle because they are not hardworking. They are struggling because they are invisible. They cannot find you. That you're making noise, sharing plenty flyers does not mean you are visible. Who remembers our definition of visibility, right? In day two, we taught ourselves how to become visible, right? And positioning ourselves as authorities, as the person buyers want to trust. And now that people are seeing you, you've started implementing these things we have learned, right? People are now seeing you, right? They're now, reaching out to you, asking you questions. Most people do not know how to go past there. Most realtors, especially new realtors or inexperienced realtors, visibility has brought people to you. What converts these people to money or to commissions, right, is the type of conversation you're going to have with them. All right. So the main problem with most people is that once a prospect reaches out to them, you just start to blab. So you post a picture, a flyer, or you shared your flyer with someone and the person calls you, or you post a flyer or a video on your status or on your social media, and somebody reaches out to you. The first thing you start to do is talk. Oh, I just saw your ABC estate and I think I'm interested. Tell me more. And the first thing you want to do is to flood him with flyers. Next thing, videos. He did not respond immediately. Next thing, you follow it up with voice notes, like maybe 2 minutes voice notes. You're trying to explain everything, right? Then the man does not respond. Next thing, you're tempted to start calling him, right? How many of you have that experience? Don't be shy. Just explain. Just identify, right? Or you have had in the past, that experience, right? And all the property prices, you just dump it on the person. What usually happens at this point is that the person will now tell you something like, maybe after a while when he manages to respond, because it feels like you have shot him gun. Pa, 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 pa. When he now manages to respond, next thing he will tell you is that, let me go and think about it, or I'll get back to you, right? Yes, you have in the comment section, right? The next thing they tell you is that I'll get back to you. Is that not it? What else do they say? Let me know in the comments. All right. Now, that sentence, let me think about it, or I'll get back to you, is actually confusion speaking. The man is now confused. I mean, do when somebody sends you plenty message like that, you will see it, especially images and videos, it will cluster together. You see, maybe if it's 12 items there, you see 3 plus maybe 9 more. And then at that point, this guy is thinking to himself, wait. Am I supposed to go through all of these things? Even you. How many question? Now, I want you to see answer in the comments. How many of you have images and videos? When you look at the size of the video or the length of the video or voice notes that they send to you, you just ignore it. I want to just do a test. Let me know in the comments. How many of you just ignore it? Exactly the same thing. The same thing. That a prospect is interested. Let's even assume that he's interested. He did not tell you that he wants to be punished. And so that is, I'll get back to you. Let me look at it and get back to you, right? Is a polite way to tell you that I don't know what to do with all of these things you just sent me. All right. And so um, um, I'm going to simplify everything for you today, right? So that you can know what to do when a prospect reaches out. How do you start the conversation? How do you lead them to a sale? Kim say she's on this table. Oh. How do you have the conversation? How do you lead them to a sale? And it's something I want to introduce to you. Please pay attention because this may be one of the most informative sales training you may ever have, right? Because the things I'm about to share with you are born not just out of reading or theory, is also out of experience, right? And I call it the raw framework, the raw framework, R.A.W, or the raw tests. So when next a prospect reaches out to you, you have done your homework, you have created content, you put out there, you're now visible, you have learned how to attract audience, if, whether by ads, I mean paid advertising, or your strategy is just organic, then people begin to reach out to you. I mean the right audience. Remember that yesterday we discussed how you can create the right type of content or the style of marketing, right, that can attract serious buyers to you. Now that you have implemented these things, what do you do when they reach your inbox or when they call you? What do you do? This is what we're discussing tonight, right? And we call it the raw test. Someone please help me type in the comment section the raw framework. Raw, R.A.W in capital letters, framework, or the raw test. Now, raw there simply means the R simply means ready, A simply means able, and W simply means willing. All right. So R is ready, A is able, and W is willing. All right. So the raw framework, amazing. Thank you so much, BLN Realities. It's good to have you here. Right. I'm going to explain this, then I'm going to share an example. Right. We're going to do an example, okay, or something like a role play. Right. Now, ready. Let me explain the meaning of ready. So ready, and somebody asked that question yesterday or the day before yesterday. He said that um, he's following up on a prospect, and how does he know? How often should he follow up, or how does he know that this prospect is serious? And I hope you're in this class because I'm about to just break these things down. Please pay attention. If you are somewhere that you have a distraction, please leave that place and go to somewhere quiet so that you can learn. It's important for this so that when you're watching the replay, you have learned properly. The replay will just stamp it more, right? So ready. Let's trash down the raw framework. What does ready mean? R there in raw. Which is ready? What does it mean? Ready means there is urgency, there is a need. Something is pushing them to act now, right? Not next year, not someday, but act now. They know that they need a property, or this is their need for a property, and they are willing to act now. All right. So maybe they have learned financial intelligence and they now understand the time value of money. They know they don't want to leave the money in the bank, right? And that is their motive of investing. For others, they want to relocate back to Nigeria. Like I have a prospect like that. Currently, I'm talking with. He's in the US, an amazing guy, and him and his wife want to relocate back to Nigeria, and they've chosen Abuja as their place to stay, right? Because according to them, Abuja comes close to what they enjoy where they are. All right. So that is a purpose. That is a purpose. And they have a time frame. They want to do this. They want to have relocated completely by December of next year. So you see that there's an urgency, there's a need to act now. All right. That is what? Ready. Somebody type ready in the comment section. Right. So that is the meaning of ready, right? Able, excuse me, able. Able means that they have the financial capacity. Able, able means that they have the financial capacity. It is not enough to want something, right? You also have to have the capacity to acquire it. Is that not true? Right? So, able simply means that the money is available or there is a payment plan. So, there's a payment plan that you have that works for them, right? Or there is an immediate future income that is already arranged. When I say immediate future, it means that it is not hope. They're not hoping for money. They are very sure that there's money that will come. All right. Now, let me state this clearly here that when it comes to real estate sales, um, interest does not equal capacity. All right. In real estate sales, or when you're buying a property, that you're interested does not mean you can afford it. All right. Now, this is the meaning of what? Able. Able means what? Able. So just do able equals money. Right. So someone type able in the comment section for me. All right. Now, the last one is what? Willing. Willing simply means that they actually want to move forward with this. What that means is that remember that they have a need, they can afford it, and they want to do it. You can have a need, you can have a need, be able to afford it, but you're not yet willing to spend that money on that need. Right? You're not willing. So willing means that they want to move forward. So they have done a bit of research, they have found you, right? They see your value. You have educated them with your video content. You have taught them how and where to invest in your city, wherever you are, right? Now, they are no more browsing. They have reached out to you, right? They have reached out to you, and you have, of course, answered a few other questions that they have. Now they want to buy, so they are willing to move forward. They are not window shopping. You know how some prospects are going around, so they'll reach out to you, reach out to your colleague, reach out to your neighbor, reach out to, that is window shopping. The person probably is ready and able, but is not yet willing to move forward with you. Am I clear? Does this make sense? So when all three exist together, the deal is as good as done. All right? When these three things together are existing in a prospect, then the deal is as good as done. All right? So if you remove anyone, let's say, for instance, the guy is ready. He's ready, meaning there is a need, there is urgency to act now. He is willing. He has found you. He has found you. He has spoken with you. He likes your content. You educated him, but he's not able. There is no money, right? Um, could it be? Could it just be that one of the people you're calling serious client right now in your inbox is like this? And the interesting thing is that some of these people, I don't know why they can't just open up to tell you that, oh, the money is not yet available. Oh, I'm just window shopping. I'm checking out my options so that when money comes, maybe next year ending, then I will buy. you know, there's also a possibility that the person is ready, he's able, but is not willing to move forward with you. Usually, this happens to amateur realtors. So the person probably found you somewhere, right? And he checked you out, or somebody recommended you to him. Then he checked you out, and he doesn't trust you. The content he's seeing about you does not make sense. You're very inconsistent. You post today, you don't post again, or you don't create content again for 2 months. Then when you come back for 2 months, you first post okrika content, thrift. You first post plenty thrift wares. After that, you then remember by the third week, by the second week of the third month, that okay, it's true, I'm a realtor. Then you now create realtor content. You see, that guy probably has his money ready. And the person that recommended you, he could have respected the person's opinion to buy from you, but he doesn't find value in you. And so he'll just keep his options open. Okay, let me check other people, Sha. Then he browses and sees um, Priscilla's video or Jacinta's video, on Kem's video. And be like, okay, this person is selling almost the same thing this other person is selling. Maybe I'll just go with her. You see? And then he may not tell you that, oh, see what happened though. It's called unconscious loss. All right. It could also be that um, somebody is able, he has the money, right? He has the money. He trusts you. So he has the money. That means he's able. He trusts you. He has seen your videos. You're doing very well online, right? So he's no more browsing. He's not looking for someone else. He already knows that it's you he will buy from. He has the money, but he doesn't have an urgent need, or he doesn't see the urgency to buy a property now. He's not ready. You see? So he'll rather buy a, a Rolls Royce. And that's okay. That's very okay. It's okay. I mean, you can't force people to buy, right? Your duty is to educate enough. And that's why I do not believe in convincing someone to buy a property. In that word, convincing, right? This person has to be ready, able, and willing to be able to buy a property. Are we clear? Does this make sense? Are you picking up what I'm dropping? Right? If you're picking up, type picking up in the comments. If you want me to explain again, I don't know, maybe you would watch the replay or tell me to explain again or ask me a specific question, right? Ask me a specific question, I'll answer you. I want you to watch this video several times so that it sticks, it enters, right? So when beautiful, everybody's picking up, you're picking up what I'm dropping, amazing, beautiful, beautiful. Now, when these three things align, that is when a sale happen easily. A sale will happen. Now, the question you may be asking, which I was going to answer later, but let me touch on it here. What if one of these things are not there? What should you do? This is where you now follow up on the person. And of course, I went very deep in this concept in my book, You Are Easy to Ignore, right? For those that, want to order it, the link is in the description. You can just go there and order it, right? So a sale happens once these three things align. All right. Now, remember, we are trying to answer the question how to know a serious client than like compared to the one that is going to just waste your time. And I think it's just simply by first asking these three questions. Are you ready? So when a client reaches out to you, the thing that should be on your head is the raw framework, right? And I'll teach you how to find out from the person. The client will tell you by himself if he's ready, willing, and able and willing, okay? So the questions you're going to be asking in your mind is this person ready to buy now? And you're going to be listening to the question, and I'm going to share with you what to do right now, right? And then you're asking the second question: do they really have the money now to buy? And is this person actually ready to move forward right now? Right. And now here is the mistake most of you make or are making. We usually treat everybody like they want to buy today. So we chase them down. You chase people, and eventually you get tired. It now feels like you now start asking yourself the question: is there something wrong with me? Are my village people turning my matter too much? No, there's nothing wrong with you. It is the normal process. The only thing that is wrong with you before now is knowledge or the lack of it. All right. That is it. It is normal. It is normal that people, the 80 to 80, the Pareto principle 80-20 rule works everywhere, even in sales. What stuff in sales? In sales, there's something called the law of averages. Usually, after a period of time, you then realize that for every 100 people that you speak to, maybe just 4 or 5, you know, percent, maybe just like maybe 20 of them will buy, right? For every 10 people you speak to, maybe only 2 will buy, or even 1. You get? It is normal. The problem, however, is with you chasing the wrong people and ignoring the right ones. And then after chasing the wrong people, you then get exhausted and tired. This is what I want to redeem you from today. Amen? Right. So now, how then do you know if someone is serious when they reach out to you? The first thing is to understand and accept this fact that everybody that says hi to you will not buy today. That's the first thing to know. Number 2, the raw framework. Have it at the back of your mind. Please, someone type raw framework in the comment section. Raw framework. Have it at the back of your mind whilst conversing with people. I mean, master this thing as much as possible. Then number 3, have a conversation. And this is where I'm going to tonight. Have a conversation first, not try to sell first. All right? Have a conversation first before trying to sell. Please type in the comment section, conversation before a sale. Conversation before a sale. Now, I know you'll be asking me, Jeff, what's the difference between selling and having a conversation? After all, like my friend will say, I did not come here to count bridge now. I came to sell. Right? Right? And the difference is basically the motive. The motive is the difference. The first is seeking to understand first before trying to sell. The second, your brain is just in commissions. When you see a client or somebody says hi to you, all you're thinking about is commissions. All right. And the truth is, I don't blame you. Usually, contrary to what you have learned, the goal you have learned, right? The goal of the conversation is not to convince. So I will say that again and I'll dwell here a little. The goal of a conversation. So let me start from the beginning. The reason you're selling property is to help someone achieve his goal or to meet a need. The reason you are in business is to meet a need. So business is basically creating value for someone else other than yourself. All right? And so the byproduct of creating that value is money or whatever the byproduct is for you. The reward can be money, it can be thank you sir, God bless you, it can be anything. But the point is that the reason you're in this business, right, is to, number 1, create value for your client. That is to say, help him achieve his need or solve a problem that the property you are selling to him is solving for him. That's the first thing, right? Now that that is established, how do you do that? How do you solve a problem? You first know the problem. That is it now. Like, you first understand what the problem is. All right? Then when you understand what the problem is, you then proffer a solution to that problem, otherwise called recommend. So you identify the problem, then you recommend a solution to that problem. This is why the word convince does not make sense to me. Because what you ought to do is to identify the problem, then recommend. Convincing means making somebody do something for your own selfish reason, not for his reason. You see? So the goal for a conversation, when you create a content and put it out there, or you do your marketing activity and a prospect reaches out to you, the goal of that conversation is to first understand the problem you are about to solve. Does it make sense? Am I communicating? Right? Are you picking up what I'm dropping? Type in the comments if you are, right? So that is the goal. The goal is not to convince, oh, I'm Jeff, Mr. Jeff, I'm trying to convince this client. No, that is why you're not selling. You're trying to convince. That's why you're not selling, right? The goal of that conversation is to what? Is to understand first, right? So instead of talking first, a prospect reaches out to you. First thing is you start talking. Drop all your flyers, drop all your videos. Sir, when the person keeps quiet and does not respond to you, say, sir, I have some more that you will like. You post another 28. Instead of doing that, here are a few questions you should ask, right? Right? So please, you need to take note here. Here are there are a couple of questions you can ask. I'll tell you about 6 of them today, but I'm just going to explain maybe 3 or 4 for the purpose of this class, which are the most important ones. I'll explain the most important ones. The rest, of course, if you order the book, is written in the book. Like, I broke this down properly in my book. You are easy to ignore. Right. Instead of talking first, here's what you do. You ask these 6 questions. First question, you need to know, so what are you hoping to achieve with this property? First question. Second question, what is your budget range? And this is tricky, and I'm going to do some role plays so that I'm going to explain this a little more, right? Number 3 question, what is your timeline? So I'm literally asking the person when he is willing to pay. So you see that the first 3 questions answers the raw. First question, what are you hoping to achieve? Raw, like, what is his motive? What do you need this thing for? What is there an urgency? Is there a need? You see? So ready. The first question is answering readiness. Number 2 is, what is your budget? What is your, like, how much are you looking at investing? Like, how much? So the way I ask it, again, I'll explain, but I'll just hint it here. The way I ask it is, how much are you willing? What is your cap? Like, what are you not willing to go beyond? Right? The third question is, what is your timeline? Like, when are you looking at paying? Okay. That third question answers the last one, willing, right? Then other questions you can ask is, what I mean, ask if he, like, are you the decision maker? And I'm going to show you how to ask that so that you don't ask it like this before the person slap you. you know. And then number 5, have you bought a property before? That's a good question to ask. You may not ask it directly like this, because especially when it's a stranger that just met you, he may not want to answer you. Okay. There are other ways to ask it. And then number 6 is, what will make this a yes for you? Like, what are you looking for in a property that once you find it is a yes, is a closed deal? You know? So these are the questions you ask. And when you ask any of the questions, you pause and listen. All right? All right. So this is how you know. So we're talking about how to identify real buyers versus time wasters, right? And what you should do when when a prospect reaches out to you. What do you do in order to close the deal? Because visibility can bring the person to you, but your conversation is what converts that prospect to income. All right. So let me show you the difference. So somebody reaches out to you. For amateurs, the first thing they do is, okay, so the guy sends you a message. Hello, Mr. Kunle. Hello, Mr. Kunle. I just saw your video on Facebook or Instagram about the 3-bedroom apartment you are selling in Ikoyi, right? And then Mr. Kunle just goes, great. Yes, sir. We have 3 bedrooms. We even have 2 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms. In fact, in the front, we have a block of shops, and here are the flyers. We have see the one for the 2 bedroom, see the one for the 3 bedroom, and we even have a discount. Sir, we're even running a promo now. Sir, that is it. That is how some people do. All right. And then the buyer says something like, oh, okay, thank you so much. Let me go through this and I'll think around it and come back to you. And poof, he's gone. He's gone. Next time you try to reach out to him again, he starts ignoring you or he blocks you, right? And you'll be wondering, his line is busy all the time. So you try to call him and his line is busy all the time. And you'll be wondering, you know, what's happening here? Now, here's the right thing to do. So the same prospect, and let's still use Mr. Kunle, right? And so the prospect reaches out to you and he says, hey, Mr. Kunle, I just saw your video about your 3 bedrooms apartment you're selling in Ikoyi. And then Mr. Kunle asked the question. Thank you, sir. So personally, I like to recognize the effort the person made to reach out to me. All right. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir, for reaching out. Um, I'm excited to help you with this, but I like to know, what is your purpose of buying it? Do you want to live in? And I go immediately. So so initially, when I started in real estate, I used to stop there. I used to just ask, what is your purpose of buying? And I stopped there. But I learned over time, right? I learned over time. And so now what I do is I go immediately by giving you options. So I say, so I'm really excited to help you through this, but I'd like to know first, what is your purpose of buying? Are you buying to live in? Are you buying to rent? Or are you just investing? How does how does it sound? Let me know in the in the comments. Do I sound like an amateur or do I sound like a pro? Right? You see that now I am trying to guide him. I'm now trying to understand his need. Right? You see? Now, after he answers me, he says something like, okay, so I'm going to be in Nigeria for 2 weeks every year. So I'm looking for where I'll be staying. Then when I'm not around, I can rent it off. Or, oh, I'm tired of living in a rented apartment. I work with XYZ and I'm just looking for an apartment to live in. I'm tired of paying rent in Abuja. You see, he has just told me what he needs it for. Now I understand that he is Okay, let me ask you, for those that are paying attention, what has he just told me? Which of them in the raw? Like, which one now has he told me about? Hey, Emeka Freedom, it's good to have you here, my bro. Long time, long time. Which of them? This question now he answered. Which one has he told me? Of course, that he's ready. There is a need. So you see that at this point of asking these questions, this particular question, it is clear that this person has a need and he understands his need. Now, the way he answers you will also tell you that he wants to solve the need now. So that's the first question, right? The next question is what? Is budget. Sir, what is your budget range? Remember, when Mr. Kule posted it, the price is there, right? But personally, I usually do not assume that the prospect saw the price, right? Right? I usually do not assume that he saw the price. So I like to remember that framework is in my head. The raw, ready, able, and willing is in my head. So the first question I asked him is to determine if he's ready. So I asked him the question of need. It's called a need analysis. So why do you need this, right? Why do you need it? That's the first question. The second question I asked is budget. So I say something like, okay, sir, of course. Then, so he has answered me, right? And I tell him something like, then this place I think will be good for you. However, if you don't mind, I'd like to know, what is your budget range? Like, how much are you working with? You right? So for clients that are a bit kind of difficult, they'll tell you something like open budget. And realtors that are amateur will not carry that open budget and be running. For me and for you now that has paid attention to this class, you cannot carry open budget and be running. So what I do is I will look for my most expensive property and send to you if you have an open budget. Share your open now. So you can pay a 3 billion naira worth of apartments, which I can easily find for you in Abuja. Right? But usually, normally, especially when you ask these questions right, they will tell you a budget. So they will say something like, I see the one you are selling is 300 million. If I can get something not beyond 250 million, I think I could work with that. You now see that there's a budget. What does that tell you? Remember, the first question answered what? Ready. This second question now, what does it answer? Mr. Owen says, yes, sir, that's what I do for open budget people. Beautiful. Give them the highest. In fact, tell them the one that is higher than the one you have. then a budget will come out. Well, usually when you send that kind of thing, they'll not tell you that, this is too expensive now. Don't you have the one of 100 million? But I thought you say your budget is open. you know. Anyway, so the second question answers the ability. So it just tells me that this guy is able. So for someone to say that, oh, don't you have the one of 250? Like, if I get something around 250 million, it to be good, right? Yes. So that is the second question. The third question is what? What is your timeline? So how I ask it is, so I just recap. So if I get you the 3-bedroom apartment for your staying, like for you to stay whenever you're around for around 250 million, say by Friday, I should be able to give you a clear response on that, on this, right? Um, can you can we lock this down by Thursday next week? Because you know how beautiful, apartments like that will not stay in the market for too long. Does Thursday next week work for you to lock this down? You see that I have used style to ask him if he's ready to pay now, right? If he's ready to pay now. So let's say he reaches out to me on a Wednesday, and I told him that okay, by Friday I'll give him a concrete feedback. But I also want to know while I like lock down this place for you. I also want to know if by Thursday next week is feasible for him to pay. That is me asking for a timeline. You can ask it any other way you want to ask, but the point is to have the framework in mind. Because at this point, I want to know if he's willing to move forward with this, right? Because it is possible that he's window shopping. And for most amateur realtors, at this point, you start running around, especially when it's a foreign number. You start running around like a headless chicken. You just start running around, right? At the end of the day, you're exhausted, you've exhausted your money, you're tired, and he doesn't pay. And you call them serious clients. Mr. Jeff, I have this serious client. I have found a house for him. It's just to pay. What do I do? What can you do? You can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do about it. All right. So these are some of the questions that you ask. Another question you can ask is to try and find out if he's the decision maker, because sometimes the main buyer, the main person that is buying, sometimes does not like to front himself. So one of the things I ask is, sir, are you buying for yourself or you're buying on behalf of someone? I try to ask it as polite as possible so that I don't hurt his ego as well. You know how some people can just feel hurt. They can just say, are you trying to say I cannot afford this thing? Right. And the truth is some people will still lie to you anyways. Some people will still lie to you, you know. So, but I like to find that out as well. All right. So yeah, there you have it. These are the questions you should ask. Again, the first question is, what are you hoping to achieve with this? You want to know if the person is ready. What are your budget range? What is your timeline? Are you the decision maker? Have you bought a property before? You can ask that if you wish to. Usually, when you rapport with your prospect very well, he may even explain all these things to you. Like lately, I've been getting a lot of prospects that have been buying real estate in Lagos for the longest, and they're now interested in buying in Abuja, right? So usually when we start having a conversation and they ask me some questions, they just start telling me that I've been buying in Lagos. This is my first time of buying in Abuja. You see? So I don't now need to ask that question again. But one of the reasons you want to find that out is to understand how much of knowledge when it comes to buying property this person has, right? So that there are some things that you may skip or you may, tell him. For instance, when you're buying in an estate, you usually pay infrastructure development, etc. As much as I like to divulge those information immediately, right? I also look for the timing. I like to know first that this person is serious before I start divulging this information. Have I lost you? Are you picking up what I'm dropping? Are we excited and we're learning? Right? Amazing. So please just watch this video again. I guess when you watch it 2, 3 times again, it will stick, right? And practice too. When you practice a little more, you get better at it, right? Now, this is how you find out some of these things. Um, you have two options here now to either learn these things and implement them, right? This is the secret, guys. This is how some people win. It just feels like some people have a magic touch. It feels like once prospects enter their inbox, boom, sale has happened. Why others, it just feels like you don't know how to close. Usually the difference between amateur and professionals are these things. And the truth is, none of us actually learned this at birth. We actually learn this along the way, right? And so you too can. Amateurs chase messages. Every message that enter, Hey, they start bombarding the person. They start following up, randomly, right? Professionals qualify the prospect first. You qualify. Use these questions to qualify the person so that you know if the person is a ready buyer, is a raw buyer, or is someone that you're going to follow up with later, someone that needs to be nurtured. All right. Amateurs talk too much, either on phone or in text. You talk a lot. Professionals ask questions and they guide. Remember, your duty is to guide him to a sale. So you recommend and then you persuade him to pay. Now, amateurs try to convince. You don't convince people to buy, right? Right. And so that's why they get amateurs get ignored, why the professional real estate consultants get paid. And my duty here for this 3 days boot camp is to turn you to a professional, right? Again, a bulk of these things I've distilled and, disintegrated in my book, in my new book, You Are Easy to Ignore. If you just go to this website here, you can pre-order your own copy, jeffanozie.com/offer. You can, pre-order your own copy. Right. Now, um, um, all these things I've been teaching you in the last 3 days, right, will not work for you if you are not consistent. All right. Even as I wrap up, somebody asked me this evening. I've forgotten the person's name. I'll check. He asked me this evening. He says, so when I post content, so I taught you guys about outbound and inbound marketing, right? Yesterday on day 2. I'm trying to get his name. I'm sorry. My phone. So the guy asked me, he says, now that you said that, I mentioned something. I said that amateurs, when they make a post, they carry it and start posting in their secondary school groups, in their, in places where people there cannot afford what you're selling, right? And so he asked me that if I post content, so I make a good content and I post it, how will the content attract buyers if he does not copy it and share it to these different places, right? And the truth is, I understand that a lot of us, haven't understood. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. A lot of us haven't understood that things of value are not going to be easy in the beginning, right? It requires work, a lot of work. It requires you to make a decision to grow, right? A lot of us are still where we are because we have not decided to grow. You still have a choice. You have a choice to do what you've been doing and to grow. You have not decided. Decision means to cut off. That's what decision means. You have decided when you burn the bridge. What that means is that you have decided to grow. You are determined to learn because you will learn along the way. And most importantly, you have committed to consistency, not one-offs, right? This is where the change happens. A lot of us will hear the same information, but the truth is, it's just 5% of you that will actually use this information to make adequate sales. All right. I mean, sometimes people feel like I am not sharing everything, like maybe I'm hiding something. And if you know me very well, I share with you everything I do. And most times, I am usually not even afraid to share everything. Like, why? Because I know that many people will not even use it at the end of the day. Those that try to use it in the beginning, after a while, they become very inconsistent. You see? Now, let me share with you as I wrap up the power of consistency. and what you need to do from here going forward. First, let's imagine something. I want you to just imagine this. So you're attending a gym, you register at a gym. On day one, you met two people. Two of them are medical practitioners, right? Two of them are medical people, right? All of you introduce yourselves. The two of them introduce yourself to you. You introduce yourself to them, right? Now, on that, and that is day one. The first person told you that, oh, he's a doctor, he's a fitness coach. The other one tells you that, oh, he's a doctor, he's also a fitness coach, right? On day two, something else now happens. The first one, I'll call him Dr. A. Every day he sees you, he greets you politely and shares with you a tip, a health tip. He says something like, try and make sure you drink water every day as much as possible. Day two, he sees you again and he says, try and walk today after you eat. Just walk around a little. Day three, he meets you again and says, boss, please try and reduce the kind of sugar intake you make. And every day he sees you, he shares something simple but helpful with you, right? That is Dr. A. Follow me, just follow me. The other guy, which is Dr. B, after day one of talking with you, of introducing yourselves, he told you he's a medical doctor. As a matter of fact, you just realize that Dr. B himself is smarter and more learned, like he has read more books than Dr. A. But Dr. B now did not say anything to you in day two. He snubs you completely day two. He snubs you completely day three, day four, day five. Now, you've been going to that gym for 3 months. And for the 3 months, almost every day you see Dr. A. He gists with you a little and gives you a tip, a health tip. Meanwhile, after the first day Dr. B spoke with you, he has not spoken to you again for 3 months. He comes to the gym quietly, does his thing, doesn't talk to anybody, doesn't talk to you, and he disappears and he goes home. Now, let me ask you a question. Who will you feel familiar with? Is it Dr. A or Dr. B? Who will you feel familiar with? Who will you, yes, who will you feel familiar with first of all? Then question number 2, who will you trust more? Right? Of course, Dr. A. Why? Why? Because he has been helping you consistently. He has been showing up consistently and helping you. Two of them are in the business. So remember, two of them are doctors, two of them are health practitioners, two of them help people. But remember that you just met two of them. You don't know them from Adam. But Dr. A has been, giving you tips consistently. What happens over time is that you become familiar with Dr. A. Now, let me ask you a further question. Let us say you work with a very wealthy man. As a matter of fact, he's an ambassador to one of the richest countries of the world, and he's a very rich man. He's the 5th richest man in the world, for instance. And he reaches out to you one day and he says, oh, please, I need a doctor that is a health practitioner. I need one as soon as possible. Sincerely to yourself, which of them will you think of first? Which of them, Dr. A or Dr. B, will you recommend first? I like to know. I mean, it's as straightforward as that. Dr. A. Why? Because consistency builds familiarity. Familiarity builds trust. And people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So trust helps people make decisions faster. Now, think about it in your business. right? You show up today, then you disappear for another 2 weeks. You post again by the third week, or you come out again by the third week, then you lost again for another like 3 months, right? And you expect people to just trust you with millions. Like, how does that even happen? And these days, even if you tell yourself you're not a social media person, you do offline marketing more. I agree, and that's okay for you. However, the truth is that you cannot control where the people that are going to buy real estate from decide to go and check you out. All right. So you see that they have seen you offline. Oh. You have come to their office to tell them about real estate and all of that. They took your information and they decide to go and check you online. You will not be there with them when they are seeing your profile online and seeing that there is nothing. You're not there to start explaining to them that, see, I am active, but I'm active offline. I'm not active online. You're not there to explain that to them. All right. So you see how it works, right? Some people run ads for 50,000 naira. You make one video, only one video, or use one flyer. There's no follow-up system. There's no consistent content. But you want to make 5 million, your goal for at the end of the month is to make 5 million in commission. And because that 5 million does not come after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you then give up. You give up, right? That is not a strategy. That's why I said yesterday that ads, paid advertising on its own as itself is not a strategy. The strategy is everything you do behind the scenes to acquire, nurture, and convert a lead. Those activities you put in place is the strategy, is the marketing. Then you can use paid advertising to amplify your voice, to get your strategy to as many people as possible. But there is a system in place that can capture, nurture, and convert the lead. All right? So you want results. Most people want results without building presence, without showing up, and without consistency. Then, how does that work? Even you, will you buy from you? Right? So what do you do? What should you do today? Right? What should you do? You commit. Commit. Commit to being visible. Commit to understanding how to converse, how to turn conversations to sales. Commit to it. Not in 1 day, not 2 days, not 3 days. Do it for a while. I usually recommend that you start with a 90 days commitment. Start with that. All right. And I'm wrapping up here right now. Start with a 90 days commitment. Month 1, not so much will happen. You wake up daily, you create content, you put it out there. Try and make videos or content as much as possible. Remember I taught you yesterday kinds of content to make. If you missed that video, go to the comment, to the description of this video. You'll see the link to that yesterday's video. Go and watch it. Right? So month 1, not much will happen. You have committed to being visible, to showing up regularly, to showing up often. Sincerely, month 1, not much might happen. Right? You just started. Your post is simple. It's helpful. You post simple, helpful content. Remember, I said that you should post things around helping people, right? Initially. So 1 or 2 people will see it. Many people will not see it. That is fine. Keep going. By month 2, you start getting better, right? You get better at making those content. You get better at attracting the right audience. All right? You get better at it. You start getting better. Your confidence too starts building. 1 or 2 leads start reaching out to you. you start practicing how to converse with them. You start practicing how to identify who is raw. You start using the raw framework on the person. You ask them those questions. That is you practicing. Month 2. By month 3, something amazing begins to happen, right? People begin to recognize you. You then realize that there are some people begin to bookmark your videos. Some people begin to share your videos. Some people begin to save your videos, right? People are beginning to see you. They're beginning to hear you. You're becoming visible, all right? And then slowly they begin to trust you. Some people will watch you for some time before they reach out to you. And that's a fact. And guess what? Once they are ready to buy, guess who they would call? Is you. All right? So, in closing, as I take your questions, so if there is one thing I'm going to leave you with tonight, or with this boot camp, with this 3 days boot camp, it is this: is that you're not struggling because you cannot sell. You're not struggling because you're not determined to sell. You're struggling because you are easy to ignore, right? Or your strategy to sell. In fact, you don't even have a strategy. You just wake up every day and hope to sell. You just wake up every day and post random things everywhere to sell. You just wake up every day and roam around the streets hoping that someone will buy from you. You're very, very easy to ignore. What is your difference between you and every other person? Nothing. All right. And that's what this entire system is about, is to help you become visible, help you to be trusted, and help you to become the obvious choice, right? At the end of the day, when a prospect sees you, reaches out to you, and then you pass him through the raw framework, you test him. See, at that point, the person has no choice than to buy from you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how to identify real buyers versus time wasters. Is also how to, you know, attract real buyers from real estate. Okay. And so if you want to go deeper, if you want a like a book or a resource, that can help you go deeper in these things, then you want to go to this website right now, jeffanoze.com, and lock down my visibility toolkit. Is a combination of both the book, You're Easy to Ignore, and a toolkit. If you go there, read through the page, you will see them. You will see the toolkit. There are some other things I've put in place, like a 30 days done for you calendar, a calendar that can help you walk you through, how to mix it, like content types that you can start creating immediately. All right. I'd give you that as a bonus as well. I'll give you a camera confidence mini course. How do you speak clearly in a video, right? For those that are pre-ordering, if you're ordering between now and the 10th of April, then you're getting all these things as well. So it's not just the book, it's the kits entirely, both the book and everything else. You also get like a conversation script pack, right? What kind of scripts can you use? How do you reply people when they ask you questions? You also get a simple search blueprint, right? You get all of this plus the book. The book, You Are Easy to Ignore: How Realtors Make Sales or Win Sales by Standing Out and Not Shouting. All right. That is what you get when you go to that website today. So if you want to, you want to get more information on, or go deeper into all the things I've taught you for these 3 days, I have distilled all these things in the book, You Are Easy to Ignore. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we've come to the end of today. I'm just going to take your questions now. I'll look through the comments. If you've posted a question before, maybe you've seen I've scrolled up, please just post it again now so that I can see it. And then I will. Yes, Mr. Emeka Freedom says, thank you, Sir Jeff. I'm definitely rewatching the 3 days. Please do go back and watch the 3 days. In fact, even without the book or without any other resource, if you watch the 3 days carefully and implement them one after the other, you will see a significant change in your business. All right. Okay, so I'll just go and look for your questions and answer them. And Mr. Safe Property asks, what is your opinion on technicalities of posting, especially on YouTube, to be findable, searchable, like thumbnails, title, keywords, tags, etc.? Do they play a significant role in being found? Yes, they play. But I'm going to tell you the first thing that plays significantly is volume. That's the first thing, is volume. That's the first thing that plays significantly. Yes, your title is very, very, very important. Your choice of content. That's why yesterday I said that you do more of educational, informative content first in the beginning. So your choice of content plays a big role. Your titling plays a big role. Your thumbnail, of course, plays a big role. But I'm going to tell you the simple hack that makes the most, that plays the biggest role is volume, and consistency. So when you start, that's why I said do a 90 days challenge. If you're going to start today, and in my book, I walk you through how to do a 90 days challenge, what you should do, right? So do a 90 days challenge. Of course, you can check out all these things on YouTube. If you go on YouTube now and check how to create thumbnails, you can easily find that. How to title my content properly, you can easily find that. Keywords, how the right keyword, easily. You can even find these things on Chat GPT. All right. Tags are phased out. Hashtags are phased out. All those things do not count again. But these three things: your title, your titling, your thumbnails, and keywords are quite important. But what is most important is volume, right? The more you create, the better you get at creating. Number two, the more the algorithm, the more you can be found. Because when people search your name, there are multiple options, there are multiple things people search for. And so when you make enough videos that covers or answers as many questions as people are going to ask, you see that you don't they don't have a choice than to find you. All right. I hope I did answer your question. All right. Mr. Owen is asking, how best would you suggest one structure his content, especially when they are working with a company as a member of staff and your company has properties in different states in Nigeria? So, what I suggest is this: if you are not obligated to sell every of your property everywhere in Nigeria, I would suggest that you focus in the locations where you are, especially in the beginning. All right. Do you know that if you structure your visibility properly, you can focus on one property, one estate, and sell as much as possible with it? All right. Especially as a staff. Right. So what I suggest is, in this case now, focus on being the consultant. What that means is create more educational, informative, locations, insight kind of content. Talk about your environment, your city more. Tell people the pitfalls of investing in real estate. What are the top 5 mistakes new buyers make when it comes to investing in? I think you just wrote that you're in Asaba. I thought you were in Port Harcourt. So if it's in Asaba, you say top 5 mistakes new buyers make when buying properties in Asaba, something like that. Here are top 3 places within Asaba or within Delta State you should look towards. And of course, in making that kind of video, you know that one of the places has to be where you have property, Abby. Of course, now, So content like that, you then see that at the end of the day, You can do a 30 days content and maybe just 5 or 6 days inside is property. The remaining 20 or 25 days is property insight, is educational content, is how to do this, how to do that kind of content, and also information that relates, that can also help the buyer, even if it's not directly going to translate to a sale. I hope I was able to answer your question. Right. Chidima is asking, sir, there are some day, some day 1 and 2 questions that you said you will answer on the last day. I hope you answer them. Please remind me of the questions. If you know the questions, just copy them and paste them here. Let me answer them as much as possible. Jenny Switch say, "Oh, I missed just joining." Of course, just go and watch the replay later. Mr. Emeka Freedom, my guy, is asking, sir, does the conversation work better on call or text chat, or what do you recommend? Anyone. It works on chat, it works on call, right? So personally, I go with the flow of the prospect. This is me personally. So when prospect reaches out to me and decides to chat, I chat. Thank God for Chat GPT these days. If I don't feel like chatting, I'll simply go to my Chat GPT and I will go and write. Excuse me. I will just simply go and do a voice on ChatGPT. It will convert my voice to a text. I copy it and go and paste it. You know, you know. So I copy it and go and paste it. Right. So I go with the flow of the prospect. If the prospect say he wants to jump on a call, because some of them don't like to chat, so you just say, "Sir, can you jump on a call?" So can you jump? He will ask me, "Can you jump on a call?" Absolutely. I'm at your service. So whether call or chat is the same thing. Same thing. Same thing. All right. Okay. So okay, Mr. Safe Property say thank you. You answered the question. Mr. Owen said, yes, sir, you answered it perfectly. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So any other question? Okay, so with the absence of no other question, I guess I tried as much as I could, right, to you know, give you enough information that could help you tonight. So once again, to order the book and the toolkits to do a pre-order for my book, You're Easy to Ignore: How Realtors Win Sales by Standing Out and Not Shouting. That's the title of the book. Then you can go to jeffonozie.com/offer and get that tonight. All right. This brings us to the end of today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. It's been 3 awesome, beautiful days of conversation. I hope you got value. Let me know in the comment section. Was this 3 days a waste? This is three. Yesterday and today we did 1 hour and 30 minutes. The first day we did like 1 hour plus. So this is a combination of almost maybe 4 hours of value. Let me know in the comment section, did you get value? If you did, please let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, please type #replay in the comment section. Let me know you watched that as well. Till I come your way again, please remember that become visible as much as possible. Visibility and popularity are not the same thing. We talked about that yesterday. Become a trusted person, a trusted brand. How do you become a trusted brand? By literally making efforts to help, not just to make a sale, right? And then, of course, becoming the obvious choice. All right. So, thank you so much for being here till now. Remember to win all the time. Consistency is a cheat code, of success. All right. So, good night and enjoy a beautiful week. Bye.